Welcome back to TECHMIMIC, where you can simply view, imitate, replicate, and get on with your day. In the previous video, how to mount a USB drive in FreeBSD, it was explained step by step how to mount a USB drive formatted with the FAT file system from the terminal. This was the difficult method with a bit more detail for those interested, and of course it is linked below for your convenience. Now let me show you an easier method where the file system of the USB drive doesn't matter, because this method recognizes the NTFS, FAT, XFAT, and EXT file system formats, and even more. Once again, you are working on the FreeBSD console, command line or terminal, and currently we are logged in as the root user on FreeBSD 14.3. Install the Automount utility with the command pkg install Automount. And type Y for yes to install the required packages. The last line on the screen mentions that the Fuse kernel module is required to use Automount, for example for the NTFS file system. To enable loading the Fuse kernel module, at system startup, type sysrc kld_list + Fuse fs. Also, the device state change daemon, also known as devd, is required to handle automated actions when devices are attached to or removed from the system. You can check if it is already running with the command service devd status. And indeed, it is currently running. Now reboot the machine. And after the reboot, log in again and type kld stat to check if the FuseFS kernel module is loaded. And once again check that the devd service is still active. The Automount utility will automatically mount USB drives in the /media directory, where it will create a dynamic mount point for each USB drive. At the moment nothing is mounted, so the media directory is empty. Now physically connect the USB drive to your computer, and after a couple of seconds some kernel messages are displayed. Ignore them for now. If you would like more details about mount points and USB device names, please refer to the earlier mentioned video. Now let's check if Automount worked its magic, and indeed there is now a new directory in the /media directory with the name of the device's partition. And when you list the directory contents, you can interact with the USB drive. Here I am listing the contents of the file test.txt in the documents directory. If you would be interested in what's happening behind the curtains, have a look at Automount's log file located in var log automount.log. Automount automatically has recognized the FAT file system and has selected the correct mount command, created the mount point and mounted the drive. And of course the same is true when you are done with the USB drive. Make sure to not be in the mount directory any longer. Here I've navigated back to the media directory, where the mount point DA0S1 is still visible. Now physically unplug the USB drive, and the console is displaying you some last messages, including the destroyed and detached messages. Automount has recognized this, and the mount point is now removed. If you want, you can check the log file again. What I've shown you so far is the out-of-the-box and default behavior of the Automount utility. If you want to configure it manually, navigate into the user local etc directory and simply copy the automount.conf.sample file to automount.conf. A link to Automount's documentation is in the video description. Now you know an even easier method to mount and unmount a USB drive in the FreeBSD console. That's it. Hope it helped, and if it did, please like the video and keep it up. Until next time, bye!